Space, the final frontier. But what the business world really wants to know is whether it's the next big investment opportunity. Until now, astronauts like NASA's Mike Massimino, the former spacewalker turned actor and author, and the first man to tweet from space, have had to depend on government budgets to fund their space expeditions. But with a new breed of entrepreneurs keen to take extraplanetary risks, could we be facing the dawn of a golden era for space investment?
I really hope that we're on this brink of this new age in spaceflight where it's not just going to be the governments anymore, but it's going to be these private companies sending people to space. Some of our companies in the US, for example, SpaceX has been very successful in taking cargo, shipping cargo to the International Space Station. And soon they want to do the same with people, as does Boeing, as does Virgin Galactic, as does Blue Origin. They want a slightly different program, different objectives than SpaceX. But the idea is to try to get people into space more frequently. Kind of like where 100 years ago, air travel was opened up. And it's not going to be quite the same. It's not the same needs. It's not the same environment. But similar to that, in that it will be open to more people. And I think that's going to be very exciting. The more people we get there, the better off we're going to be.
Well, I mean, with space, the next investment frontier potentially. We're here at the Web Summit, and everyone here is focused on disruption. Do you think this is going to be a way to disrupt the cost of getting into space? And how are those costs looking these days?
I think that there is. I mean, right now it's very, very expensive. It's very expensive for governments to put people into space. I think when you get these very smart entrepreneurs like Elon Musk, like Richard Branson, like Jeff Bezos, looking at the problem of transporting people into space, they look at it a bit differently. And they look at it from a cost-conscious standpoint. They also can leverage a lot of what the governments have already done. A lot of what the U.S. has developed can be turned over to these companies. And it has been turned over to these companies and helping these companies to develop what they're doing. I think that at first it's going to be pretty expensive for people to travel into space as private citizens, but their objective as well for each one of these private companies is, it's going to be expensive at first, but what they really want to do is bring the cost down. So they are very cost conscious. They understand that they're not going to be successful without being cost conscious. Sometimes governments can get away with that because they're doing things with a different priority, but when a company is trying to, for the benefit of science, for the prestige of the country, for international cooperation, for inspiring young people, these are things we're willing to pay a little bit more for. But when someone's buying a ticket to go somewhere and they have a fixed budget as a private citizen, the cost is going to have to come down. And those guys are aware of that, and that's part of their plan as well.
Are we going to get to Mars by 2024?
2024, where are we in now? 2016? I think it's unlikely. I think there's a chance, but with people we're talking about, right? I think it might be a bit unlikely. I think Elon Musk is trying to get there, and I think he's going to really try, and if he doesn't get there by then, it'll take him a little bit longer. I think we probably need a few more successes in the private game, because I think going to Mars is probably going to be a combination of our government with other governments. I mean, lots of governments getting together, along with some private industry, helping each other. I mean, I don't know if it's going to get there, but I sure hope so. Let's say 50-50. If it's 50-50, I know it's pretty high odds, but we don't have the rocket ship to take us there yet. We don't really have the infrastructure we need. So I think if we say 2024 is our goal, I think that's what we should say. That's a great goal, but I don't know if we'll actually make that, but I think that would be okay. Because if we make the next opportunity a few years later, I think that would be great. I think it's time to actually try to go.
So it's about motivating people. Basically.
I think it's motivating getting people to get in. Let's just keep talking about it. Because every astronaut for the last 20 years has thought they were going to Mars, and that ain't happening. So we gotta get this thing moving.
That's brilliant. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for having me. What a pleasure.
Great to hear from you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.